Hello, and let's cover in this video the missile exhaust core and rendering. And so this is pretty basic. I take this trail again that's getting built from the missile. Let's see here. Oh, let's go to the camera. Alright, so it's doing its thing. And then I really just like carve it down into this guy. And this basically generates me a trail. I resample it so I have some points evenly spaced out, and I compute an arc length here. And so that gives me the points. It basically normalizes the point count 0 to 1. And so I can color it. So this is really basic. I color it, I cache it out because that's what I do with all my stuff. Totally unnecessary. But what I do is, this is really a light for the missile contrail. This lights the volumes. And this is super, super handy. I really like this feature. I have to turn the samples up pretty high, but for me it's really worth it. It's quite easy to control, and it provides a really nice effect. And so, as you can see on my rendering, let's bring we'll go over to rendering, and on the missile contrail, I have it the lights here, and so these are geometry lights in the regular light setup, and this is how I render my stuff. And so all these nodes, I put these in the lists so they only render what they're supposed to. And this is a really great way for me to keep my stuff organized. I've made a custom mantra node, so I've duplicated this thing. And if you want to do that, go to your operator type manager. And then what you have here is you go to the, whatever the driver is, it'll pop up. But there is the internally it would be in here. I think I'd have to search for it. But I'm not going to do that. It's somewhere in here. It should be driver maybe. So driver mantra. I don't know. But anyway, you basically right click and then you duplicate it. And then I can change where it's saved, and I can make some additions to it. And so what I did is I added an element name, a version name, and this custom execute here. And at the time, I forgot about this create intermediate directories, which builds your directories on the fly. And as you can see, I'm doing my stuff with Deep Shadows and OpenEXR2. And I love it very much because it comps so nicely in Nuke. And so this is what I do. So when I change this directory, it automatically builds me these paths. And so I'm doing this with Python expressions. And as you can see here, it says this simage_dir, an simage file name. And so basically I return, so this is pointing at the HTA module. And where I save my code is I save it in here. So as you can see, my mantra node, it has its own custom save to library here, and I renamed it something different. And there's a better way to do this that I'm going to get clarified. Frank Dew showed me how to do this, RFXTD at work. And there's a special script that on the original mantra node, it builds all these parameters for you. So the way when you make modifications to your mantra OTL, it references this script on build, and then it runs this script and it builds all these parameters for you. And so I wanted a custom one. When I drop it down, it has this stuff basically built in for me. Where are you? Come here. So sorry about this. So here's the code, and it's some basic Python code, and I put it into the scripts. And so I'm not going to explain how to do this because it's really basic Python stuff that you can just, my window really got hooped there. That's really weird. Oh, come on, Houdini, be cool. Anyway, so what's important is you can see this code. It builds the directory, and this is where the expressions call from. And the create directory, that's a bit redundant because I forgot about that. So basically, I'm just using Python to assemble the directories, and this lines up with, I'm just going to navigate on here. So here's my projects folder. So what you can see here is I have a nuke, and I have the renders, and I have this stuff. And so this, it always goes, the mantra node always puts it to this one place. Now I'm going to pause and I'm going to open up nuke. So here's the comp file, and what I have here is I have deep nodes. I have some custom nodes that I go into, let me see here. I go into in detail of how to make this, of how to make your custom readers. And so if I drop down a deep reader, I have this custom panel that basically lines up with my settings in Houdini. So I don't have to dig through. As you can see, I have a lot of elements here. So when I was planning this project, this is one of the first things I did. So I'll go into detail next of how to do this in Python and in the Houdini side here. I'll show you how to do that in detail. And then I have a tutorial series already made that shows how I do it on this side. And I go through the code and how to set it up in Nuke. Because as you can see in Nuke, I have this stuff. When I launch Nuke, it says loading NIO. That's my Nuke input output. And effects initialize my init loading. So these are my Python scripts that allow me to enhance Nuke for my personal projects. And this is really, I think, the most amazing thing about Nuke and in Houdini is the ability to put Python in it, empower yourself to do some really cool things. So that's what's coming. And so thank you for watching.